NLT API Luke 20 verses 1 to 47. NLT Luke 20. The authority of Jesus challenged one day as Jesus was teaching the people and preaching the good news in the temple. The leading priests, the teachers of religious law, and the elders came up to him. 2. They demanded, "By what authority are you doing all these things? Who gave you the right?" 3. Let me ask you a question first, he replied. For did John's authority to baptize come from heaven, or was it merely human? 5. They talked it over among themselves. If we say it was from heaven, he will ask why we didn't believe John. 6. But if we say it was merely human, the people will stone us because they are convinced John was a prophet. 7. So they finally replied that they didn't know. 8. And Jesus responded, "Then I won't tell you by what authority I do these things." Parable of the evil farmers. 9. Now Jesus turned to the people again and told them this story. A man planted a vineyard, leased it to tenant farmers, and moved to another country to live for several years. 10. At the time of the grape harvest, he sent one of his servants to collect his share of the crop. But the farmers attacked the servant, beat him up, and sent him back empty-handed. 11. So the owner sent another servant, but they also insulted him, beat him up, and sent him away empty-handed. 12. A third man was sent, and they wounded him and chased him away. 13. What will I do? The owner asked himself. I know. I'll send my cherished son. Surely they will respect him. 14. But when the tenant farmers saw his son, they said to each other, "Here comes the heir to this estate. Let's kill him and get the estate for ourselves." 15. So they dragged him out of the vineyard and murdered him. What do you suppose the owner of the vineyard will do to them? Jesus asked. 16. I'll tell you. He will come and kill those farmers and lease the vineyard to others. How terrible that such a thing should ever happen, his listeners protested. 17. Jesus looked at them and said, "Then what does this scripture mean? The stone that the builders rejected has now become the cornerstone." Asterisk 20:17 PS 1 18:22. 18. Everyone who stumbles over that stone will be broken to pieces, and it will crush anyone it falls on. 19. The teachers of religious law and the leading priests wanted to arrest Jesus immediately because they realized he was telling the story against them. They were the wicked farmers. But they were afraid of the people's reaction. Taxes for Caesar. 20. Watching for their opportunity, the leaders sent spies pretending to be honest men. They tried to get Jesus to say something that could be reported to the Roman governor so he would arrest Jesus. 21. Teacher, they said, "We know that you speak and teach what is right and are not influenced by what others think. You teach the way of God truthfully." 22. Now tell us, is it right for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not? 23. He saw through their trickery and said, 24. Show me a Roman coin. Asterisk 20:24 Greek a denarius, whose picture and title are stamped on it. Caesar's, they replied. 25. Well then, he said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. 26. So they failed to trap him by what he said in front of the people. Instead, they were amazed by his answer, and they became silent. Discussion about resurrection. 27. Then Jesus was approached by some Sadducees, religious leaders who say there is no resurrection from the dead. 28. They posed this question. Teacher, Moses gave us a law that if a man dies, leaving a wife but no children, his brother should marry the widow and have a child who will carry on the brother's name. Asterisk 20:28 C 25:5-6. 29. Well, suppose there were 7 brothers. The oldest one married and then died without children. 30. So the second brother married the widow, but he also died. 31. Then the third brother married her. This continued with all 7 of them, who died without children. 32. Finally, the woman also died. 33. So tell us, whose wife will she be in the resurrection? 4. All 7 were married to her. 34. Jesus replied, marriage is for people here on earth. 35. But in the age to come, those worthy of being raised from the dead will neither marry nor be given in marriage. 36. And they will never die again. In this respect, they will be like angels. They are children of God and children of the resurrection. 37-inch, but now, as to whether the dead will be raised. Even Moses proved this when he wrote about the burning bush. Long after Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob had died, he referred to the Lord *20:37a Greek when he wrote about the bush. He referred to the Lord as the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. *20:37b Exodus 3:6. 38 So he is the God of the living, not the dead, for they are all alive to him. 39-inch, well said, teacher, remarked some of the teachers of religious law who were standing there. 40, and then no one dared to ask him any more questions. Whose son is the Messiah? 41, then Jesus presented them with a question. Why is it, he asked, that the Messiah is said to be the son of David? 42, for David himself wrote in the book of Psalms, the Lord said to my Lord, sit in the place of honor at my right hand. 43, until I humble your enemies, making them a footstool under your feet. *20:42-43 PS 110:1. 44 Since David called the Messiah Lord, how can the Messiah be his son? 45 Then, with the crowds listening, he turned to his disciples and said, 46-inch Beware of these teachers of religious law, for they like to parade around in flowing robes and love to receive respectful greetings as they walk in the marketplaces, and how they love the seats of honor in the synagogues and the head table at banquets. 47 Yet they shamelessly cheat widows out of their property and then pretend to be pious by making long prayers in public. Because of this, they will be severely punished. NLT API Luke 21 verses 1-38. NLT Luke 21 The widows offering. 1 While Jesus was in the temple, he watched the rich people dropping their gifts in the collection box. 2 Then a poor widow came by and dropped in 2 small coins. *21:2 Greek 2 lepta, the smallest of Jewish coins. 3-inch I tell you the truth, Jesus said. This poor widow has given more than all the rest of them. For they have given a tiny part of their surplus. But she, poor as she is, has given everything she has. Jesus speaks about the future. 5 Some of his disciples began talking about the majestic stonework of the temple and the memorial decorations on the walls. But Jesus said, 6-inch The time is coming when all these things will be completely demolished. Not one stone will be left on top of another. 7-inch Teacher, they asked, when will all this happen? What sign will show us that these things are about to take place? 8 He replied, don't let anyone mislead you, for many will come in my name, claiming, I am the Messiah. *21:8 Greek claiming, I am, and saying, the time has come. But don't believe them. 9 And when you hear of wars and insurrections, don't panic. Yes, these things must take place first, but the end won't follow immediately. 10 Then he added, nation will go to war against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. 11 There will be great earthquakes, and there will be famines and plagues in many lands, and there will be terrifying things and great miraculous signs from heaven. 12-inch But before all this occurs, there will be a time of great persecution. You will be dragged into synagogues and prisons, and you will stand trial before kings and governors because you are my followers. 13 But this will be your opportunity to tell them about me. *21:13 Or this will be your testimony against them. 14 So don't worry in advance about how to answer the charges against you. 15 For I will give you the right words and such wisdom that none of your opponents will be able to reply or refute you. 16 Even those closest to you, your parents, brothers, relatives, and friends, will betray you. They will even kill some of you. 17 And everyone will hate you because you are my followers. *21:17 Greek on account of my name. 18 But not a hair of your head will perish. 19 By standing firm, you will win your souls. 20-inch And when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then you will know that the time of its destruction has arrived. 21 Then those in Judea must flee to the hills. Those in Jerusalem must get out, and those out in the country should not return to the city. 22 For those will be days of God's vengeance, and the prophetic words of the scriptures will be fulfilled. 23. How terrible it will be for pregnant women and for nursing mothers in those days. For there will be disaster in the land and great anger against this people. 24. They will be killed by the sword or sent away as captives to all the nations of the world. And Jerusalem will be trampled down by the Gentiles until the period of the Gentiles comes to an end. 25. And there will be strange signs in the sun, moon, and stars. And here on earth the nations will be in turmoil, perplexed by the roaring seas and strange tides. 26. People will be terrified at what they see coming upon the earth, for the powers in the heavens will be shaken. 27. Then everyone will see the Son of Man. 21:27. A Son of Man is a title Jesus used for himself, coming on a cloud with power and great glory. 21:27b. See Dan 7:13. 28. So when all these things begin to happen, stand and look up, for your salvation is near. 29. Then he gave them this illustration. Notice the fig tree or any other tree. 30. When the leaves come out, you know without being told that summer is near. 31. The same way. When you see all these things taking place, you can know that the kingdom of God is near. 32. I tell you the truth, this generation will not pass from the scene until all these things have taken place. 33. Heaven and earth will disappear, but my words will never disappear. 34. Watch out. Don't let your hearts be dulled by carousing and drunkenness, and by the worries of this life. Don't let that day catch you unaware. 35. Like a trap. For that day will come upon everyone living on the earth. 36. Keep alert at all times, and pray that you might be strong enough to escape these coming horrors and stand before the Son of Man. 37. Every day Jesus went to the temple to teach, and each evening he returned to spend the night on the Mount of Olives. 38. The crowds gathered at the temple early each morning to hear him.